In this video, I'm going to give you a real and true bookkeeper chart of accounts that you can upload into QuickBooks and use if you would like. I'm also going to go over how much it costs to run a bookkeeping business and the profit margins that you can expect. If we haven't met, I'm Morgan from FinePoints.biz. Check out my free masterclass and checklist. And my whole goal is to help you as a bookkeeper, help you get started, and help answer any questions that you have about running a bookkeeping business. I would love it if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for a new video every week. So the majority of this video, I'm actually going to be showing you stuff on my computer, which is sitting right in front of me. I'm going to start my screen share now, and then I might pop back here to mention a couple other things. All right, this is a bookkeeper budget that I shared in a different video. I'll leave the thumbnail here for you, and you can go watch that after this. And in that, I really explain each of these categories and what my thinking was behind it. But this is like a realistic bookkeeper budget that I made up. It's someone who's been bookkeeping probably a year or two. They have 8 clients and they have a different range of small, medium, and large. Check out this video if you want to hear more about small, medium, and large bookkeeping clients. And then they make this is per month, this column, they make about $4,000 per month. And then these are all their expenses. So their total expenses per month is $767, and this is what it equals, a little over $3,000. And then annually, they're making almost $40,000, and this is working part-time, I should add. So this is working about 20 hours a week is how I figured it. And then I also did calculate the profit margin, so you can just see I took the net divided by the total cost, and that is 81%. This is formatted as a percentage. You could also just times this by 100 if you are using the spreadsheet. Don't get confused. So 81%, which I think is an amazing profit margin. I tried to do some research online and see what's the typical profit margin expected for a bookkeeper. It was really hard to find. Retail businesses have very low profit margins. What I found was service-based businesses should have 30, good ones have 50, but I think 80 is awesome. And I truly think that is about the profit margin that I have had, just because I do try to keep my expenses really low and be very careful in what I'm spending. And I didn't use my own bookkeeping business for this just because I do a lot of YouTube now, so that makes it a little bit weird, probably some stuff that you don't have. But I did include, I'm going to leave this printable, or this thing that I'm showing you, as a printable for you guys. And you can download this exact spreadsheet as well as the chart of accounts one that I'm going to talk about next. But all that to say, I did include my real and true chart of accounts, just the expenses part, in case you're interested in what I actually have and actually sent to my accountant in 2022. I do try to keep it as simple as humanly possible, just for myself and for my accountant. I did just watch a video from Hector Garcia that was kind of on this topic, and his chart of accounts was very detailed, very in-depth, probably because his clients are maybe a higher level and they need lots of different accounts. For me, I try to keep it as few accounts as possible while still serving my client the best I can. And I did not include startup costs in this. I have a different video, a really old video about that. I'm probably going to remake it because I think I could use an update. You can expect to spend, I'd say, about $500 to $1,000 maybe dollars when you're first starting your bookkeeping business, but that is not included in the spreadsheet. This is just running your bookkeeping business. I do have another video on my channel that you can find about recording startup costs in QuickBooks. So if you're not sure, oh, I bought a computer with my personal money, how do I put it in QuickBooks? That video can help you with that. And within this Sally's bookkeeping budget, I have the full-time equivalent for what she's making is $82,000 a year. So if she was working full-time, that's what it would equal out to be. And I am aiming to have her make about $50 an hour. So part of that will be time spent working on her own business, and then part of it will be billable hours that you're billing clients. And of course, if you want to make a higher hourly rate than that, you can definitely charge more, or you can reduce your expenses. Some of these are kind of optional, like I have you having an assistant. You might not need an assistant to go through your email, things like that. And of course, do not forget to be saving for taxes as well. I think of that more as a personal expense if you're an LLC and a pass-through company, because all the income you're taxed on with yourself, not the business taxes. All right, and then you can see in each of these expenses, I put the QuickBooks category, or the chart of accounts category. So QuickBooks subscription, I put as QBO subscription, so that's what it will show up on the profit and loss. You can see the same for all of these. And then, like I mentioned, this is my true chart of accounts that I truly am using at this moment. I arrange it in sorting in descending order. So my highest expenses are at the top. So my highest expenses were contractors. I took out the name of the companies, but I have contractors that work for me, and then I did some consultation. I got help with a project. And then software, I have these 4 things. 2 of them are old and 2 of them are what I am using. QuickBooks is my very biggest expense, except for the people that I am paying. You can see the rest of these things aren't very big or very important. So I only have 11 categories for my expenses in my chart of accounts. And I feel like that's pretty small. All right, so you can see on the other tab of this, I basically took all the accounts that I talked about for each of these things, and I put what I think they should be called in the chart of accounts. And you can download this and upload it into QuickBooks. I'm going to show you how to do that. And basically a lot of them are very similar. Just for example, like utilities, I included like phone and internet. So things like that. Some of them are combined a little bit. But this I formatted just like you would want to in QuickBooks to upload it. And then I'm working in the sample company today. So this is the dashboard. Just go to the chart of accounts. I watched a video from Hector Garcia about this topic before I filmed this, and he went through and he deleted all of these things. So if you really want your chart of accounts to be cleaned up and these to be the only expenses in there, then you have to delete these, and I don't think there is a way to do them except for one by one. So I will leave Hector's video linked in the description as well. It's longer and more complex, but hopefully this is just like a simplified version of it. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit here and make all these inactive while you watch, but basically if you want this to be really clean, then delete all of these expenses. And a couple of them might not be able to be deleted if they're like baseline things that have to be in QuickBooks. And today we aren't really worrying about income accounts. You can see in that budget I had like client 1, client 2, client 3, which you can definitely do if you want to track your income and how much you're making from each client. Or if you don't care about that, just throw it all in one bucket called income. That's fine too. All right, so then you go to new and import, and then you can see that sample file. This is what I use to create, the format for the thing that I'm giving you. And right now I'm just gonna put it in a new workbook because it has that other tab in there. All right, so I'm gonna browse for that thing that I just created and say next. And then you just want you to match your fields. So, on the spreadsheet, it had detail type, account name, and type. If you named it something else, just tell QuickBooks which thing is which, like which thing in QuickBooks corresponds to which thing in your spreadsheet. And then the account number, I didn't put those. I don't really use account numbers regularly. Depending on the complexity of the client, you might need to. I have had a pretty big client before who used those, and I know some accountants just like love account numbers. So you can do research on that and see if it's needed. Just for the reason of simplicity, I usually don't worry about that. And that is a thing that you can turn on or off within the settings of QuickBooks. All right, and then it just shows you this little example of what it's gonna look like. So these are all the types and detail types. And then I just put these all as other business expenses. The detail type isn't that important. You can move these around if you prefer. All right, and then it says 2 of 12 successfully imported. Some of these, I actually just tried this before I filmed it. So these were all duplicates, so it didn't want me to duplicate those. All right, and then if we go back to our chart of accounts, then you can see some of those ones that I just made, like this bank charges and fees. That's when we just imported other business expenses, bank charges and fees. So then you can just start using these in your profit and loss. If this is a topic you're interested in, definitely check out my video called Charge More. It's all about how to price your bookkeeping services. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful and what other videos you would like to see from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will be talking to you again next week. Thanks so much. Bye.